I hate when I hit the stop button. We're going to focus right on this guy right here, because I'm curious to see the backstory on this is that it was worked on by someone else. So let me get some tools and we'll get at this. Somebody's grinding up something. Yikes. Yeah, there we go. I can get the smaller one. Hang on, gotta find the smaller one. Alright, so since we already got gas on the floor, it looks like they didn't really tighten that up to begin with. Let's see what kind of gaskets we're missing. I guess I'll catch some of this. By the time we get over here, it'll all be framed out anyway, I guess. All over everything else. So this is your anti-fire, backfire solenoid that I really didn't want to drop. There's still garbage in it. I mean, look. There's still garbage inside. Oh, there's still garbage inside that. So, I'm not sure why. And then I am going to get my fuel pinchers here. Hopefully, Daniel left me some gas. For the whole thing, he may have though, because he did the thankful he did the lawn. But whew, okay. Left me a little bit of fuel. I can see there's a little bit of garbage down in there too, but I need to put on my man column too. I need to find my man column. I hope I was somewhere around out here somewhere, because the bugs are after me, mosquitoes. Propel. All right. So. So the float still works. We're going to pull the needle anyway, and take a look at that, see what that looks like. Hopefully. Okay. Huh. Usually those come out pretty easily, but why in the world that one's not moving is wow. Why is that guy not moving? That needle should come right out. Unless something changed in the last couple years, but I don't think it has. Aye. Put the brake on. Probably easier to smack it on the other side. Wow. Let's get a longer nail or something. I'd like to really look at the needle seat and honestly replace it. And my baby hammer. There it is. Lucky pink. I mean, these aren't hard to, I mean, they're not hard to pull off. I can pull this whole thing off. It's just, I would have preferred not to pull apart. Beyond removing the float. And why my little fat fingers can't fit in there. On that angle. Good Bob. What the heck? I've never had one stick. Had them where they're wider or smaller on one side, and on another side, that's usually on motorcycle carbs. But I've never had it where it was stuck. Yep. So away we go, pulling the carb. Breather 2 is filled with gas as well, so that's great. What do you think? 10mm or 3/8? I think it's 10mm, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. It's 10mm. Yeah, it's the last socket I can find. Because why would it be right on the top? Yeah, let me pause that while I look for stuff. Is it 10? That's not. Yeah, that's 10. I guess it is 11, maybe. Or bigger, obviously. I thought it was 10 for sure. You gotta remove the cover. That's why I was trying to do that. I was trying not to remove the cover. Because the cover is just a pain in the butt. You do the cover, just make sure that you remove the tiny little screw up here in the top. This guy sits on. Here we go. This is the pain in the butt. Because now you gotta go ahead and let's do this. Oh, that's 10. Oh, down we go. So let's see what all he's got going on here. That's the choke lever. That's fine. Come here, boy. Hang on. Yep. Test the fly wire up. The Goovner spring. So this pen should come out of there easily, and it is not. And we'll take this over to the bench, I guess, because I really want to inspect and replace the needle in there while we have it off and out. So I'm not sure if you were seeing that, sorry. This is how you end up losing parts, but at this point it probably would have been cheaper for me to buy an Amazon carburetor, but I really want to know why this pen is not coming out. Do they not want you fiddling with it anymore? They just want you to junk the whole carburetor instead of replacing the needle? I guess that's it. Okay. They don't want you replacing a needle. They'd rather have you destroy your equipment. They said this looks like a pretty new unit, and that needle should be replaceable, but I guess if I look at this closely, you can kind of see they pinched them on the ends now. Yeah, it almost looks like they pinched them on the ends to stop that from moving back and forth. So now you're forced to replace the whole carburetor. which is kind of terrible. I mean, you can buy carburetors, I mean, $20 or so, somewhere there and abouts. But let's see if I can find another one for a example. So here's another one similar to that guy there. Actually, it's the exact same thing. And I don't remember why or how or what the reason is for this guy being in my collection. Here's another one that's exactly like that. Different model, but and if it weren't corroded in there, you'd probably get that pen out from that side. But it's kind of corroded in there. A little bit different style, same idea, different diaphragm of that one. But these float pens should be able to move so they can service that needle. And apparently they've now taken that away from us based on that observation. I'll still give it a fight. Because I'd rather use the carburetor that it came with. Here, it actually popped out. Started to move. Let's see if there we go. Boy, that guy was definitely snug in there. Still need to go all the way through, don't you? Alright. Either a machining issue or I guess maybe it's could be the way that the factories are designing these now. But that's your needle there, and that needle looks very good, honestly. Make sure that it springs a little bit. The rubber's pliable. It's not dry rotted. So I'm going to put that back together. We're just going to give this a good cleaning and make sure there's no debris down inside here. Hang on here, we'll get some brake clean in there. Or parts cleaner or something. And hopefully watch our eyeballs. Do. Grab a paper towel. Try to keep this guy. Clean. There's no adjustment on these. They're plastic. I mean, some of the older ones had tabs you could bend in and out. You'd use a float level to measure the height. This guy does not provide or afford that opportunity. Sort of a shame. The other thing I wish that they had, I guess, was part of this. We'll bring the solenoid over with us. I'll have a look at the solenoid and make sure that you can test these solenoids. Make sure that they're operating. Yeah, maybe we'll do that while we're here. Hang on. As I was getting ready to go test that solenoid, I was looking at this. I think maybe someone else out there might have seen what I was missing, but I'm pretty sure you're supposed to have a little rubber stopper on there. So when the fuel is shut off, so I'm not sure how someone managed to. I think they broke it off. I'm not sure how, but I'm like 99% sure there's supposed to be a little stopper on the top. And these aren't the same length, so I'm going to have to see what the cost of a fuel solenoid for that is. But that's definitely it's part of the problem there. I mean, the gas should stop either way when the flow bowl is full, but this should help as well in preventing backfire. Somebody, it looks like I said, it looks like somebody broke it off. It's not inside the carburetor that I saw. No. I'm thinking that the solenoid I have over there will be long enough to do what it needs to do. Let me just measure this real quick, I guess. Get the micrometer out and yikes. Yeah, I can't. That one. Grab the other one. So I got the micrometer out and I measured from the top of the stop there, and I'm going to grab the other one here, do the same thing, just kind of get a guesstimate. It should work. I mean, we'll find out soon enough. I'm going to fill it up with a tank of gas, and we'll charge you, unfortunately, for the tank of gas, but guess I could pressure test it here too, right on the bench. Now that I don't know what I did with the 12.5 inch socket there. So if you blow in these, you shouldn't have any air flowing through it. If you turn it in the other direction, you know, you got air coming through. If you bring it back the other way, no air. So let's go through the process of throwing this back on this unit. I'm like 99% sure that part of that was either debris stuck up in there, or maybe even the top floating around. I just didn't notice it when I pulled the flow pole off. when power is applied to that solenoid, the oops, let's hold it here. I gotta go get the gasket for that. Try not to cut my leg open on my edge trimmer. When power is applied to that, it's an electromagnet. It pulls the stopper down to allow fuel through, and when you turn it off, the stopper releases back into the pickup of the carburetor or venturi tube, emulsion tube. These are only like 5 foot-pounds on those. And well, we're gonna drain everything and pull the oil filter off of there too, if there's one on there. No, thankfully there isn't. And that sucks because there's no drain tube and it's a plug. Boy, oh boy, that baby stinks. Let me go pour my oil out and drain and then pull the gas out. I like to put gas in the extractor. And I guess before I get too far with this, let me make sure. Ooh, biscuits. I don't know if you saw that. That thing just puked out. Alright, I gotta find more containers. I'm turning this into a little hazmat site here. Yikes. I don't have anywhere to go with that gas. Out of containers. 520, 2050. 530, 1030, 1040. A big gallon of gas in there. Good news is it seems like the piston's still moving through the cylinder. The bad news is when you have gasoline inside here like this, I think they call it anaerobic Loctite on the connecting rod journals. You know, while we're waiting for that, I guess I can give you an example maybe. Let's see if I got one over here. Yep, we do. So this is off of a Subaru, I think, but these bolts here on the back of your journal tend to lose the Loctite, and when they do that, it'll start to get loose. I don't know where we're zoomed in, anyways. It'll start to get loose, and then the next thing, eventually, you hear and then that's the death knock. So hopefully she got lucky here. There's definitely a lot of gas in there. Holy moly. And then it's coming by the ring and the piston. So I'm going to plumb in a fuel shutoff valve on this petcock while we're sitting here thinking about this. The screen that they have on there is unnecessary. The fuel filter, I should say. Not that it's a bad fuel filter, it's just overkill for what's going on here. Hopefully I have it straight. Fuel shut off. Dig down deep. So we'll plumb one of these. And there, let me see if I got some fuel line clamps. See one. Tried to order these one time and they got the wrong size. So that actually might be the wrong size too. Yikes. That should work. There. We'll pull this back here. Yeah, the screen's not necessary. I mean, and he's got it on backwards, so that's not good either. The I'm just going to plumb in a screen, but they wouldn't know which direction to go with this because there aren't any arrows on it. So, but it's supposed to go in this direction. Unnecessary. In this particular application, a screen is more than sufficient. And so we're gonna put in there. Dang, that thing's still pumping out. Yikes. The filter end back here. So we'll say biscuits. Thank you. Where'd he go? Try to dig it out for that. Grab the next one. This is what it came with to begin with. Was a see, and even here there's an arrow for fuel direction. I know you didn't see that, but there is an arrow. Alright, and let me grab one more. Let's try to continue getting as much of this out of here as we can. The other thing is too that I'm a little concerned about is it was started and ran with fuel in that crank, and that is a big problem. So this is really just kind of a hope and a prayer. I'm gonna put the bottle jack under it and try to give it a little angle towards the back. Make sure I got as much of that goop out of there as possible. Kicking sockets and stuff. Over to the other side because can't drain towards that side. Take it towards the drain hole. That gas dripping out of the head. Yikes. Just to try to get it in the back corner. Inevitably there'll be a little bit left in there, but hopefully it'll burn off. But that's a lot of fuel, and I gotta find a container to go with that. I gotta go find a gas can, hopefully out back. Hi, all right. On to phase 2, we'll blow it up. So, oh, here goes Daniel. I paused it. I'm going to fill it up with 10W30. So, 10W30, full synthetic, not that it matters. We're in the dipstick mark lines. I'm going to turn it over without starting it because I'm more concerned about a lot of things right now, but I'm going to turn it over without the spark plug in it. Ooh. Shut the fuel off on it. And we'll just leave this apart for now. Make sure that is what happened. I get the choke is on the wrong side. I gotta fix that against the front. Oh yeah, dumb. I put the choke lever on the wrong side. That happens. Just wondering why. Ha 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 ha. I wonder why that choke wasn't working. get the torque wrench out too. It's down, I think it's 5 foot-pounds. Not a whole lot. And I gotta find it. Not that foot-pounds. Someone's cringing at home. They're like, oh no. Using the torque. Oh, I guess I should probably put that back up in there too first. Right. Hammer that down, yeah. So, putty. Millimeter. Yeah. Stupid tripod. Hopefully that's just because the muffler had gas in that. Kind of hear the knock in it. I think the damage is already done.